consumed marijuana. Additionally, the late actor's manager Samuel Miranda and Ria's brother Shovik would also smoke weed with them. Meanwhile, Zaid Vilatra, one of the drug peddlers in this case, has been arrested by the NCB, who is also allegedly the drug peddler of Shovik Chakravarti. He's been remanded to NCB custody till the 9th of September. Sources have told CNN News 18 that the statement of Zaid and Basit, another drug peddler who has been arrested, matches with the statement of Shovik. NCB's initial probe, that's the Narcotics Control Bureau's initial probe, suggests that the two were supplying drugs to Shovik and that Ria's brother also used to procure contraband from them. Let's now break down what exactly was it that Sushant's former manager Shruti Modi has told the CBI. First of all, she has told the CBI that Sushant would often consume marijuana along with Ria Chakravarti. So these are based on the revelations made specifically by Shruti Modi. She's also saying that Ria and Sushant would consume joints on SSR's terrace. That is Sushant Singh Rajput's flat terrace is where they would consume the joints, and these joints would be rolled by Sushant Singh Rajput's cook Neeraj. Neeraj has been repeatedly been questioned by the CBI. So one can make out the kind of information that Neeraj had is something that the CBI is trying to also base its case on. Meanwhile, Samuel Miranda and Shovik also took weed along with Sushant Singh Rajput and Ria. All these revelations, as we are pointing out, being made by Sushant Singh Rajput's ex-manager Shruti Modi to the CBI. Also, that Sushant Singh Rajput and group would consume weed often and not occasionally, is what Shruti Modi has told the CBI. Meanwhile, we are getting some more updates with regards to the CBI investigation. We are getting to know that Indrajit Chakravarti has left the CBI after day 3 of his questioning. He's been questioned for 5 hours today. So 5 hours of questioning of Indrajit Chakravarti, the father of Ria Chakravarti, who has been questioned at length by the CBI today. 5 hours of questioning, and he's left the DRDO guest house just a short while back. This is where the CBI is conducting its questioning. Mihir Trivedi is now joining us with more details on this bit of information that is coming in. Mihir, what are the details that we've picked up so far on what Indrajit Chakravarti has been able to tell the CBI, and whether they are satisfied with his answers? Do they corroborate with the answers of the others?
Absolutely. As far as Indrajit Chakravarti is concerned, today his questioning was on the lines, and also we know that statements have been recorded. Questions have been asked to Ria Chakravarti extensively for a couple of days now, and that needs some sort of corroboration, and that's why Indrajit Chakravarti has been called for questioning constantly. This is the 3rd straight day for Indrajit Chakravarti, who was called in questioning. One was to corroborate all the statements and clarifications given by Ria Chakravarti. Also for the fact that there is a drug angle now, which is a new twist, and the CBI also extensively questioned Indrajit Chakravarti, considering there are some WhatsApp chats between Shovik Chakravarti and certain peddlers and people from Sushant Singh Rajput's residents who were like assistant managers, Samuel Miranda and others, where it seems that it's indicative that he is trying to procure some sort of drugs for himself, and also there is a mention of father, dad, and that clarification the CBI was trying to get from Indrajit Chakravarti, whether he was someone that was consuming drugs, or that was some sort of code used by Shovik Chakravarti to procure some sort of drugs. Apart from that, as far as the CBI line of investigation today is, they are looking into two angles as far as this case is concerned. One is the mental health of Sushant Singh Rajput, and another is the drug angle. Indrajit Chakravarti was called in context of the drug angle. Remember, he has been probed for a couple of days now. Questioning has been going on. This is the 3rd day. It went on for 5 hours. Apart from that, whoever is present at the DRDO guest house and still being questioned are Suzanne Walker, is the therapist who kind of came out and gave that disclosure about Sushant's mental health when all fingers were being pointed at Ria Chakravarti, and she was being massively trolled as far as this case is concerned. So she is still inside and being questioned. Apart from that, Siddharth Pithani was here, and remember, we know for a fact that Siddharth Pithani is someone, and sources in CBI do tell us that at a point he did reveal that Sushant Singh Rajput was clearly visibly upset with Disha Salyan's sudden passing away, the suicide angle. In fact, there is evidence enough to prove that Disha Salyan and Sushant Singh Rajput did work on certain deals, and there were conversations made between them, and he was very well known to Disha Salyan, and that clearly upset Sushant Singh Rajput and really aggravated his condition, is what Siddharth Pithani has revealed in the CBI investigation, and that angle is being explored because Suzanne Walker is here. So the CBI is trying to understand from Suzanne Walker, who is the therapist and come out and spoken about the illness. Apart from that, we also know Disha Salyan used to work for a company, and the CEO of that company was also called in for questioning. So as far as the CBI is concerned, there are two lines of questioning today. One is on the mental health angle, and another is the drug angle. As far as what sources tell us at CBI, and I'll quickly wrap it up, is that right now they have really investigated and found no evidence to prove that there is a homicide angle to it, but yes, they are investigating on the suicide angle.
Okay. All right. Let me go across to Shilpa Ratnam for more on the drugs angle, Shilpa, over here, because the NCB is not just looking at the specific case of Sushant Singh Rajput now, though those summons that have been made and the arrests that have been made so far, or rather the detentions that have been made so far, are those related to the specific case, but the larger, broader investigation into the Bollywood drug nexus. Have they been able to get anything much so far with regards to that?
Well, our sources say that the people that they've contacted through these chats, from Shovik's chats, be it Zaid or be it, Shane Fletcher, and there are a few names, they've said that, these dealers have contacts in some high-profile places and do have contacts with stars. But does that expose, a nexus between the stars that directly leads to this? That is too early to say, of course. But, and neither have they given us any names. But they are saying that they do have some leads. And in order to pursue these leads, they have taken Zaid, one of the dealers, into custody. They did not find any drugs on him. In fact, they've only found some foreign currency on him. And saying that using him, they are going to expose a big drug cartel in Bollywood. That is the reason that they've given to the judge for taking him to custody for a bailable offence, in fact, and the judges also agreed. So now we have to see whether this drug cartel that the agency is saying they are going to uncover is actually uncovered, because as we remember, these chats were first combed through for financial irregularities, and after those irregularities were not found, they found some drug angle, and now they're pursuing that. And even with the drug angle, they found marijuana in the last few years, and we have to see what the punishment for possession, consumption, etc. of that is. Because probably that is what Riya Chakrabarti would be charged with. And now, the NCB saying that they are sitting on top of uncovering a drug cartel is their claim. We have to see how far that is true.
All right, both Mihir and Shilpa are going to stay with us. Let's quickly take a look at this chain of drug peddlers and how the drugs, the contrabands, reached the clients that it was intended for. In this case particularly, let's try and understand that entire chain. Now, Zaid is the drug peddler that Shilpa also mentioned in her chat over there. The NCB, that is the Narcotics Control Bureau, has drawn links between Shovik and the drug dealer, alleged drug dealer, Zaid Vilatra. So that is the person, and Shovik is the brother of Riya Chakrabarti. There's a direct link that they have been able to unearth now. At least that's what sources are saying. Arrested peddler ran eateries in Bandra and sold marijuana. So this was the cover. While he was running an eatery, he was supplying marijuana. He was into drug peddling, is what the NCB is saying. Zaid allegedly supplied cannabis to Shovik and Samuel Miranda. So these are the two people that was being mentioned by Shruti Modi as well, who were part of this entire drug consumption group of Riya Chakravarti allegedly. Drugs often supplied through food packages from his eatery. So the eatery, as I was pointing out, was acting as a cover, as a front, while he was running an eatery, that is Zayed, he was peddling drugs. Now the other person's name that has cropped up in this entire chain is of Basit Parihar. He is the middleman, and Basit was arrested based on the information that was provided by Zayed. So Zayed spoke about how Basit was the middleman. He was the one who was in contact with the others, and the drugs were being supplied through him. There's another person whose name has cropped up now. That's Jason. He is a peddler of drugs. His name is Jason. He also supplied drugs to Shovik. So all these three, basically, all these three alleged drug peddlers were directly in touch with Shovik. So clearly things are looking difficult at the moment for Shovik Chakravarti. Shilpa Ratnam is now joining us with more details. Shilpa, help us understand that these are details that are being revealed by these alleged drug peddlers to make a case out of a person. For instance, in this case, Shovik Chakravarti, will it require more than the statements of these drug peddlers?
Well, yes, they will. We'll have to see whether Shovik is proven to be guilty of possession, consumption or dealing. Now, some of these chats show Shovik, sharing some numbers, saying perhaps you can contact so-and-so person for so-and-so drug. Now, does that come under dealing is what we have to see, and that's what the NCB will also be trying to do. So they will be trying to nail them on these charges, because dealing is a very severe charge. And if Shovik is nailed under that, then he could very easily be arrested as well. So we have to see what the NCB is going to tell us. We do know that definitely there is some connection to drugs. And when I say drugs right now, we're talking about marijuana. That's the drug that the NCB says, that Shovik was discussing and consuming, and the Chakravartis were consuming. Now we have to see, because we're waiting for the NCB to tell us what is the kind of punishment that one can get for this, and what is the longest, that one can be in, or the kind of extent of the sentence that Shovik could be looking at. But of course, this is apart from the FIR that Riya is facing for abetment of suicide. The focus has somehow shifted from there. But of course, even if this is something that is proven, we have to see if these drugs